The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown.
Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Standback, Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Youmans.
Go! Go! Dallas Cowboys!
It is still a Victory Monday edition of Talkin Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company as Thanksgiving Day belongs to Dallas yet again. They feasted on the Giants with a 27-20 beatdown in week number 13 of the NFL season. They still are celebrating a victory. Back-to-back wins for the Cowboys as they improved to 5-7. Welcome in, everybody. Glad you're with us. We got Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Tommy Yarrish, Chris Beam in the back. I am Kyle Youmans. It was a sweet holiday weekend.
It was.
Great. Exactly. Dude, I had some pumpkin cheesecake.
You did?
I had some pumpkin cheesecake. Somebody made it. Of course, we're working on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I had no idea what the spread was going to look like, and we hosted.
Yeah.
And so, like, my wife and the babies and everybody was there. And then as soon as I walked in the door, she goes, "By the way, we have leftovers." I was like, "Nice." And she was like, "And there's pumpkin cheesecake." And I was like, "There's what?" I was like, "There's, excuse me, there's, huh?" It was delicious. It was fantastic. And it was even sweeter after the 27-20 Cowboys win over the Giants.
That's how we
Two straight.
Two straight.
In 4 days.
Don't call it a win streak.
Don't call 2 division wins.
Yeah. You're 3-1 against the division.
We are so
Shocking.
bad.
It's kind of unfair that we get to like celebrate 2 wins in like 4 days. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like.
Did you say it's unfair?
Well, we were waiting.
It's a bit unfair.
We were waiting 50 days
I was gonna
beforehand
say,
to
that was
celebrate a win. I think 4 days is fine.
That was earned 100%. That was not unfair. Screw fair.
And it is especially an extra sweeter Victory Monday for one Texas Longhorn fans who did not need 8 overtimes to win.
That is true.
3 words. Never a doubt.
Well,
Never
I was
a
about to
doubt.
say Georgia survived.
I think there was more than one doubt.
Never a doubt, baby.
Georgia Tech almost with the upset, baby.
Shouts out to Georgia Tech.
Hey, and North Texas is going bowling after they started 5-1, went to 5-6, and really took it up all the way.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Congrats to Mean Green.
Let's
But
go.
serious, this rivalry week was wild.
great.
Talk about Michigan and Ohio State. This just across the board, man. Rivalry week was crazy, and of course, it had to be us that jumped it off with the mayhem. Close call.
Those rivalries
Never a
just
doubt.
don't transition into the NFL the same way.
They don't.
No.
It just
not
doesn't.
like that.
No.
Not like that.
No.
And my college is just facing a terrible, terrible lawsuit. So,
What
shouts
college
to
is that?
The Art Institutes of Dallas. Well,
Talk about rivalry week.
they're not considered fraudulent.
The
but
Art Institute of Dallas against the state of Texas.
they're frauds in a different type of way.
Oh,
Yeah, they're facing
that's
Texas, just not the University of Texas.
No, just the state.
Yeah.
The state.
Yikes.
The state general thing. No, Georgia.
No student loans, baby.
Georgia, Texas, part 2. Part
Yeah.
2.
Yep.
See you in Atlanta.
Can't
Part
wait.
due.
That'll be a fun one.
Gonna be fun.
All right, the Cowboys win over the Giants and what they did on Thursday. I think it falls into the category
But we got to
of-
get the bad news out the way.
What's that?
We lost some more guys.
Oh, you want to get into that first?
I mean,
I was going
let's do
to
it so
talk
we can
good
get back.
first.
Yeah, so we can get back to the good and then
Exact-
stay on the good.
Oh, okay. So you want to start with the
Yeah,
bad.
I need.
All
That
right,
out
let's
the
get
way.
some
We
news
got
and
this-
notes.
We got the victory.
Welcome to Talking
celebration.
Cowboys, hosted by Patrik Walker.
No. I don't want us to get good into talking about the good stuff and then have to interrupt the good stuff with the bad. So, bad news, as everyone knows, who's been following the Cowboys news and broke the news on Friday, I want to say. Per Stephen Jones to 105.3 The Fan. Unfortunately, the Cowboys have lost cornerback Josh Butler for the season with a torn ACL that will require surgery to repair. And I cannot state enough how much I hate to see that on any player, but coming off of the breakout game that he had. Tommy had an excellent piece on Josh and his journey to this point. And we're not going to say that Tommy jinxed him because, he's Longhorn stuff.
Come on, man.
But nonetheless, Josh Butler heal up. Hope to see him in 2025. He showed some great things. A little bit of not good, but much better news for Wanye Thomas. Wanye was obviously carted off of the field on Thanksgiving. We all feared the worst case scenario, but as it turns out, it's a meniscus injury. 2 to 3 weeks is the prognosis. So not the end of the world there. That's actually great news, all things considered. Tyler Guyton, not so great news. He has a high ankle sprain now in addition to the shoulder he's dealing with. Keep in mind, high ankle sprains have notoriously taken guys out for several games. Talk about Micah Parsons. It just put Awesome Richards on IR with only 5 games left. Now you have to wonder what the remainder of the season looks like for Tyler Guyton and just the left tackle position as a whole for the Cowboys. Chume Doga is back, but that's a conversation we'll get into. So we got the bad news out the way. A little bit of better news as far as Wanye is concerned. He's not done for the season. So now let's get back to the fun stuff.
Yeah. So, okay. So, Tyler Guyton's probably the biggest name on that list for me. That's your starting left tackle that's already missed some time and hasn't been able to piece together a steady run of improvement. And he's your first rounder, and I want to see steady runs of improvement, and you haven't seen that yet. So, yeah, best of luck to those guys, and we'll talk as we get deeper into the week on whether or not some of those guys are available. And the Cowboys could get some guys back.
Tank!
With it being an extra
the tank
long,
that we want to talk about.
Yeah, extra long mini bye week. So you go from Thursday to Monday, you get that extra day snuck in there too. Yeah. So it should be an opportunity for a couple guys to get back. 27-20, Cowboys get the win over the Giants. It was you put it into the category of you got the job done, even though it wasn't necessarily pretty, Josh. You found your way. It wasn't perfect.
No, and I think a big part of that was the offense kind of sputtering along as they were, right? And it was the Giants not putting a stake into the coffin, as it were, to kind of get into the game, find a rhythm, and put us away. But it was the defense. I mean, again, what we've talked about the last several weeks is that Mike Zimmer has figured out a way to get this defense rolling. And Micah even said it in his last availability is that by the end of the season, you're going to see a Dallas Cowboys that, granted it was a rough go at it, rough season, but at the end of the season, you're going to say, this is a damn good defense. You're starting to see that come to fruition. Like what Micah said is actually, true in a sense, but a big part of that win was the defense. And just the confidence that you see kind of exuding off of them, which was tough to see Wanye Thomas go down. I thought that was a catastrophic injury. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that was scary.
He's done, right? Thankfully, 2 to 3 weeks, that's amazing. But obviously a big part of it is the way the defense is rolling at the moment.
When you said by the end of the year, we could call this a pretty damn good defense.
Yeah.
What would you call it now? What would you call this defense as it stands as we go into week 14?
I think this defense has an attitude. I don't
like
know.
that.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? Like you see after every single play that they make, you see the guys galvanizing. You see them rallying around the defensive players, and then also just the swag that they bring to each and every play, right?
They do have some swag.
And they're swarming the ball, too. Yeah. They're not missing a lot of tackles. You're not seeing a lot of that now.
That was such a problem.
Which was a problem early in the season. And like the run,
most of the season.
Run defense arguably is getting pretty good. Like compared to how we started off the season, holding Saquon to under 100 yards a couple of games ago, it's starting to look like a pretty stout defense. Granted, the statistics are not on their side because of how poorly we started the season against the Ravens and then the Saints as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this defense is going to be the staple of this team, right? When you look at the rest of the schedule, if you're going to win these games, it's not going to be because of your offense in most cases. It's going to be because of your defense. What can they do to limit your opponent and do what they've done the last couple of weeks that we didn't see at the start of the season? Force turnovers. Right? That's been much better the last couple of weeks. What stood out to me the most is DeMarvion Overshown is going to be a staple of this franchise for a long time if he keeps playing the way he's playing. He gets
You're just
better
saying that because you're a Texas fan.
Well, that and the fact that he just gets better and better every
he's been
single
incredible.
week.
Well, even as a dog, he's
I talked a couple of weeks ago about how he's kind of that newer kind of breed of linebackers who have started playing a position like safety or defensive back, and they've got that speed element to their game, and they can still hit you like a linebacker, but they've got that speed element to their game where it's just very difficult to play offense against. So his development is one that you love to see. I think the real test for this defense comes on Monday. The Bengals 4-8. Man, they might be the best 4-8 team ever.
That's scary.
4-8.
That is a fantastic offense. Their defense is just poor. I'll say
I'm
that.
looking at their 4-8 a whole lot differently than I'm looking at the Cowboys 5-7.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I get that you are who your record says you are. There's an element to that. But Joe Burrow, if you take him out of context and you throw him on a team that's instead of 4-8, they're 9-3. Doesn't even have to be 10-2 or 11-1 at this point in the season. You put him on a team that's 9-3 right now. He's probably the front runner for the MVP.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been incredible, but they can't stop anybody. You saw that yesterday. They gave up 27 points to the Steelers in the first half at home.
And all but one of their losses this year are by one possession.
Yeah.
All but one of them.
Yeah.
Including
That's
yesterday.
excruciating.
Yeah.
So, this is
And
a
they had a
team
chance
that-
yesterday, too.
They did have they've had a chance
They've
in a
had
lot
chance
of their
in
games.
right. I was going to
In
say.
a lot of their games, and it's just they just can't get over that hump, and a lot of it is because of their defense. So,
And their O-line, dude.
and their O-line has been they've been missing Orlando Brown for a little bit too, and that's a big part of it
And
at
Burrow
left
is
tackle.
still cooking.
And Burrow's Jamar Chase has 13 receiving touchdowns, 14, something like that.
He's still been great.
And I think he leads the NFL in receiving. So this is going to be the test for me for this Dallas defense, and it's going to be a really fun one because you've got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Deron Bland, Jordan Lewis. Hopefully Trayvon Diggs is back. So that's going to be a really fun battle to watch. And this is the game where Dallas proves to us that they are a damn good defense if they play well. If they can limit Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins in that offense, then that shows me, hey, this is a defense that has evolved, and they've gotten to that point where you can say, yeah, this is a really good defense.
I like that description. Damn good defense. I don't know that they're not elite right now because for me it's full body of work. But when you look at how they're turning the levers now, how they're pulling the levers now, where they weren't getting takeaways, now they're getting takeaways. They weren't getting pressure on the opposing quarterback, they're now getting pressure on the opposing quarterback.
Micah helps a lot.
Micah helps a lot. But now keep in mind, before Micah got hurt, they still had struggles getting after the opposing quarterback. But now he's back. He's rejuvenating. He's rejuvenated the defense. He, in combination with DeMarvion Overshown, they have those two. That combo have established an identity with this defense. And like Josh said, swagger is a good word to look at it. Attitude is a good word to use for those guys. But now, like Tommy said, you're going up against a Bengals team, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, Kyle. I know. Shouts out to Tuna. You are what your record says you are, but contextually, that doesn't seem to fit the Bengals. Their last three losses, they scored 34 points, 27 points, and then 38 points in a loss against the Steelers. They can rack it up. So what gives me confidence in this defense is seeing what I saw against the Washington Commanders outside of that big play to Terry McLaurin late in that game. They walked into Northwest Stadium and shut down the front runner for Rookie of the Year in Jayden Daniels, and outside of that play with Terry McLaurin, they shut down McLaurin. Noah Brown was having a career season. Josh Butler, shouts out to Josh Butler, strapped him completely. They bottled up Austin Eckler, kept him from being a receiver out of the backfield. Robinson had some injury issue. He was back and forth, but when he was on the field, wasn't tearing off big runs on the ground. So this defense is doing great things, and then when you look at what they were able to do against the Giants, granted, the Giants are not world beaters. But what they did was show me something I needed to see. Before that game, I said, well, the Cowboys had 5 sacks last November against Tommy DeVito, and they had all these quarterback pressures, but only one guy who contributed to that, Mozzie Smith, is still on the current roster, the active roster, I should say. Needed to see the new cast of characters plus Micah, who was going to produce that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how does 6 sacks and 14 quarterback pressures
I'll
sound?
take it.
You would take it?
I'll take it.
How about 5 QB hits for Carl Lawson alone?
Dude, he was awesome.
Bob.
If you want to talk about an under-the-radar player
Yes.
of this Cowboys team, and we talked about it a tiny bit before Micah got back, but once Micah got back, he's taken a step forward because he doesn't have as much attention around him.
100%.
He's been really good, and the film shows it, the numbers show it. the way that he's making an impact in the run game is significant. Hats off to Carl Lawson. I think he's done everything and more to prove that he belongs not only on an NFL roster, period, but on this Cowboys roster. He's been a big-time step up.
Did you see the stat compared to Dorrance Armstrong for Carl Lawson?
Go for it. Do it.
Okay, so Dan Rogers tweeted this out. Carl Lawson has 4 sacks. Dorrance Armstrong has 3. Carl Lawson has 13 QB hits. Dorrance Armstrong with 3 missed tackles. Carl Lawson 0. Dorrance Armstrong 2. Dorrance Armstrong's salary is $11 million. Carl Lawson's is 1.
That's safe to say.
And also half the amount of snaps, by the way.
Yeah. The Cowboys are winning the Carl Lawson versus Dorrance conversation. They're not necessarily yet winning the Carl Lawson versus Dante Fowler conversation.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah, that's a different conversation.
But if you're winning games, I think Carl Lawson is elevated in the way that he's being talked about right now.
Yep.
I think he's the story that Josh Butler is, but just for the defensive line. Maybe not the same complete background, of course, because of Butler's parents and the dogs and all that kind of the really, really cool story there. But Lawson, in terms of the X's and O's story, he's that guy stepping up for the defensive line. It's been fun to watch.
And then when you have a guy like DeMarvion Overshown making the plays that he's making, you blow up Singletary to disrupt him on that route, and then heads up play, hands up play, get the hands up, create the tip drill interception, only to chase it down and come down with the interception himself. And oh, by the way, let's go ahead and throw in his first career pick 6, all on the same freaking play.
And that's what I'm talking about. How many linebackers in the NFL can make that play?
Only a couple. It's probably
one is in San Francisco.
Yeah,
I was going to say the only one that came to mind is Fred Warner.
Yeah, Fred Warner could
maybe
make that play.
Roquan Smith could make that play.
Roquan could probably do it.
Like that's special stuff.
There's a couple guys that's
special stuff,
and he's still figuring it out.
Exactly, he's getting better every week. That's what I'm saying.
This
he
is
his
his de
peak.
facto rookie season.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he also missed time in training camp and preseason with the hip pointer. And we're talking about him. Well, a couple of weeks or so ago, we had already put him in Pro Bowl air. So that's solidified. But I said before the end of the season, we might be talking about him in an all-pro conversation. I think if he continues this trajectory this week against the Cincinnati Bengals, and then maybe one more week, maybe he goes to Carolina and just goes crazy, that has to be an all-pro dialogue.
They're going to have to win some games, I think, for him to get there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if I'm at all-pro yet, but
they're going to have to get there.
Has to give me a couple weeks.
No, I
continue playing. And it's possible.
It's
Vander Esch did it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. Micah did it, but more as an edge rusher.
He's making a name for himself now. That was a breakout game for him, I think. I mean, granted, we've seen it before, but
front of the nation.
Just 41.2 million people saw that.
Yeah, that's all.
No big deal.
You know what I love about the growing relationship between DeMarvion and Micah is that Micah continues to give him this praise, but there's always this tinge of competitive.
Oh.
Right? So he's like, oh, yeah, he reminds me of someone. Not quite yet, though. He's not quite number 11. So I'm like, yeah, it's funny to see that back and forth because it shows that those two are growing a brotherhood. And I love the tweet that Micah put out when he said for years to come with that picture of DeMarvion and him celebrating. Hint, Michael wants to stay a Cowboy for the rest of his career. Well, who make it happen?
You want to poke the
give me a broom.
Hey, you up there?
Keep those two guys together, and your defense has between those two guys, and Diggs is already under contract locked up. If you can go ahead and lock up Bland and keep Jordan Lewis on a multi-year deal, and then just re-up in the draft, and man, that defense can be something.
Could be something special,
regardless of who's coordinating. That defensive talent-wise can be something.
I want to talk about the offense, though, because we're going into these 5 games. Tommy brought it up. There are some good offenses on the docket. You've got the Bengals who can score. 2 weeks from now, you have the Buccaneers who can score. You've got the Philadelphia Eagles. We know what they can do later in the month. And then the Washington Commanders to round out this final 5-game stretch for the Cowboys.
Bryce is coming along.
He's had a great month.
They've kind of starting to figure it out a little bit, too. So with all of that being said, you're going to have to score points. Even if your defense plays better than you anticipate, there's got to be points from somewhere. It's the name of the game. So, offensive side, are you having any concerns with the way that it pitter-pattered in that game against the Giants? And do you feel like there's a corner being turned on a certain member of that Cowboys offense? I'll tell you who when we come back right after this with more Talkin Cowboys.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this portion of the show is brought to you by Quaker Oats, the official oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Quaker Oats, trusted since 1877.
Num-nums.
So good.
Yum, yum,
Quaker
yum.
Oats in the morning, listening to some Talking Cowboys with a little bit of Black Rifle Coffee Company.
Use the Quaker code in the corner for buying your oats on the internet.
Bang.
Sick.
Bang, bang. Sick. All right, let's get into the offense. Cowboys offense. I thought the way that Josh outlined it in that first segment was kind of interesting.
Thanks.
Sputtered.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what it felt like. 21 of 36, Cooper Rush passing, 195 yards through the air. He had a touchdown and had an 82 quarterback rating. He had Kevontae Turpin lead the team in receiving, oddly enough. 4 receptions for 53 yards. CeeDee Lamb didn't do much. 2 receptions on 6 targets, 39 yards.
You saw his shoulder was...
It was bothering him. Yeah. But
a couple drops, too.
You know who didn't sputter?
Who dat?
In the midst of this game? Because they stuck with him on the ground. His name is... Rico! When the passing game doesn't have it, you know who does. His name is Rico Dowdle. Dowdle finishes with 22 carries, 22 totes.
Yeah.
Woo!
That happened.
And he carries the ball 22 times. There's no way he has a high average, Tommy. There's no way he carries it for effective runs.
It's almost like he's been averaging 4.5 yards a carry.
Oh,
all
weird.
season.
Here's the way he went above that. You know what he did? He went 5.1 yards per carry.
That's a lot, Kyle.
Uno.
A $112 on the ground rushing.
You love to see it.
First 100-yard rushing game of his career. And he had this first rushing touchdown of 2024. So, a couple of firsts for our man.
Let's go, dude.
I love it.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, you give him the rock and you win football games. Shocker.
You decide on a back and you just keep giving it to him.
It's almost like there's a podcast that starts at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday that's been talking about that for...
But you know what? This could
training camp? Since training camp, maybe?
This could have been a 150 tour, 150-yard, 2-touchdown guy if they didn't put him on a milk cart in the second quarter.
Yeah.
So that was my only... that was much to my chagrin. You see him tearing
We
them
thought
up.
he was banged up. Was he not banged up?
He was not. He was not.
Wow.
They just got away from what was working and didn't get back to it until the third
and
quarter.
Then right back to it.
He had 8 for 50 until the last 3 drives of the first half, and then did not get a single carry. The rest
So they
of the
tried to sabotage it. They tried to do it.
And the thing is, what the trend that has been when they give him carries and then they turn away from it, the answer has been, well, it's because we're getting behind in games, and we feel like we need to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't behind
the whole time.
I mean, you weren't behind. he still got over 100. He still got that rushing touchdown.
Yep.
But Patrick's right. This could have been
a bigger
game for Rico.
Yeah, it oddly enough, and shouts out to Nick Eatman because he brought this up in the press box conversation. And I was having the thought, but I didn't want to say it out loud because I was, trying to figure out why this was happening. But Eatman said that it's ironic that anyone who was present or watched the Green Bay Packers game, okay, Cowboys were up in that game. All they had to do was control the clock at that point, not get pass heavy, and walk away with the win in McCarthy's return to Green Bay, to Lambeau. Cowboys got away from the run. It allowed Aaron Rodgers and his team to get back, his offense to get going. Then you go down, you lose an injury at cornerback, and then the rest is the rest, and you lose that game. After that game, Mike McCarthy was furious. He was pissed, and he basically intimated, not so subtly, that the offense needed to stick with the run and not get away from the run, right? That almost happened against the Giants. You almost let this game get away from you because you got away from what was working in Rico Dowdle. So let this kind of be a lesson to hand the ball off to, what's his name?
Rico!
Suave. So the run is working with Rico. It's been working. Use that to continue to stabilize it, especially when you're in situations where your offensive line may or may not be protecting. But shouts out to the offensive line because they did a damn good job against the Giants front and Dexter Lawrence. And also shouts out to that rookie named Cooper Beebe. I saw you put Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, he did.
On the turf. We were just talking about how difficult it is to even move Dexter Lawrence. Dexter beat him off. That was that run by Rico. Dexter beat him off the snap. Okay. Now, there
was a pause.
I saw your face. Dexter beat him off the snap, but as soon as Cooper got beat off the snap, he dropped anchor. And then pushed back, and it broke Dexter down. So that offensive line, even without Tyler Guyton and without Austin Richards, they did a damn good job. And shouts out to Cooper Rush. I was Cooper Beebe, Cooper Rush. Shouts out to Cooper Rush because when the pressure did come, Rush was pretty solid in that. He was 8 for 11 against the blitz with a touchdown and no interception. So when the pressure got back there, he still stood and he delivered. So and Brandon Cooks had a lot to do with that.
He said surprise to Dexter and nailed him.
Dude, Dexter
several
Lawrence.
times.
He dirted Dexter Lawrence.
That's awesome.
All right.
Brock Hoffman with another good game. He got into a fight on his third play.
Love it.
Wait, did you see the hands up?
Yeah,
did you see the hands up?
every time.
He's so efficient. I love it.
He's like, I did do it.
So
he's our version of college football rivalry.
Exactly.
That's what he is.
Planting a flag.
If he could be given a flag to plant at midfield at his home stadium or a road stadium, who cares? It's Brock Hoffman. He's going to do it either way.
They're going to end up pepper spraying Brock Hoffman.
You may need
that's why he has the eye blankets protection.
That's why he wears it.
Yeah.
So here's the question that I'll pose to you guys. I know it's early in the week and we're not going to look too much ahead to Cincinnati yet. But
sounds like you're looking ahead.
No, I'm not.
Okay, Belichick, are you on to Cincinnati?
Okay, Mike Elko.
That's a bar.
I'm just saying, great coach
Oh,
though.
it's Longhorn is spicy
we
today.
have talked about this offense, and from what you've seen from this offense the last couple of weeks in a game like Cincinnati where their offense is high-powered, their defense not so much. If the Cowboys get into a shootout, is that a style of game they can win?
With this personnel, I'm going to say no.
I don't think so.
I agree.
I'm going to say no.
You've got to slow down their offense
because that's
some level.
And how do you do that, Kyle?
I don't know, pressure, turnovers, and control time of possession. That's one way your offense. To run the ball. That's the one way I think you do win this game is by continuing to be effective on the ground.
Yep,
you have to.
That's the only way I think you can win.
Got to.
If you control the clock, if you run the ball with Rico Dowdle, if this is a 20-25 carry game for him and he goes over 100 again,
so down.
The Cowboys win this game on Monday.
I agree.
Do you guys like what you're seeing from Jonathan Mingo as far as run blocking goes?
Not really.
Not loving it?
No. I like his route running. I think his route running is actually pretty good.
He just needs a better ball.
Yeah. Well, he had one really good throw to him, and he couldn't hold on. And so
that was you talking about that sideline?
The out route. I'm talking about the out route.
Oh, you're talking about the out, not the go. Because I was
Not
going to say
the
that
go.
goal wasn't easy. It would have been a fantastic catch if he made it.
that would have been tough.
That wasn't easy.
No, I'm talking about the out that he dropped over. I don't think it would have been a first down. It was like 7 yards.
But still.
I'm thinking in the small sample size that he's given you, I think he gives you a better run block than a Jalen Tolbert does.
That is true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just because he's a bigger body. I mean, that alone.
Just get in the way.
Fair enough.
I don't know if Jalen Tolbert needs to run block at all anymore.
Stop it.
If I'm being completely honest. I think Mingo. Yeah.
So is it going to be
that regard?
The Noah Brown package every time Jonathan Mingo comes in? You're like, all right, it's a run.
Running.
He's running.
Maybe, or they just go away from Tolbert
Yeah.
entirely. Maybe that's the case, but.
I don't know. It'd be interesting, this Mingo conversation just in general, now that Brandon Cooks is back, because Mingo in the 2 games he was active before Brandon Cooks got back, he's been targeted, but it's not been the best throw from Cooper Rush. And then when he did get a good throw, he didn't come away with it. Brandon Cooks comes back first game. What does he give you? He gives you a touchdown, and he gives you a game-sealing, fully lateral diving catch.
Yeah.
That's what Brandon Cooks gives you.
Yeah.
Lest you forgot.
Yeah, he made his impact felt.
He command K'd it, dude. He was just like the long bar.
Yeah. Brandon Cooks, man. That dude, he did it. He said, eat him up.
Do you feel more confident in the way that Luke Schoonmaker's been playing?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
You love to see that. You love to see confidence. You love to see just the reps that he's getting.
And
more throws to Luke Schoonmaker.
And the fire. There's a fire in that young man's belly. You see him after some of those plays when the defenders are trying to yap at him and he's shoving back and he's yapping back. That's not the same Schoonmaker we see walking around that locker room.
Where did you learn that from?
Listen, it can't everywhere really.
Brock Hoffman.
I was about to say it.
There's some Jake Fergie in there.
I was going to say that's absolutely
and
Fergie.
obviously Linda Wells has put him into position to exceed in that role, the role that he currently has, and the fact that he's getting more balls thrown to him is all the better, dude.
Well, listen, for our Michigan folks, and I know you're feeling good this Monday because it's a victory Monday for you too. Let us know in the comments, YouTube or Twitter. Let us know, for those of us who haven't followed Schoonmaker at Michigan, because some of us are SEC guys. Has he always had this demeanor on the field as far as this fire in his belly, or is this something that's kind of coming alive as he gets more reps with the Cowboys? I'm interested. Let us know.
He's taking him to Schoon.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on the fact that Patrick goes, some of us are SEC guys.
Because some of us are.
We don't watch the Big Ten because it's
I didn't say
the superior conference.
I didn't. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm simply saying my eyes every Saturday are typically glued to the SEC, so I know what's going on
Some
around
of us are
my
HBO
dome.
Max guys. We're just watching movies. You know what I mean?
Well,
There's too many,
Hey,
some would say.
my fellow SEC guy can now relate.
Yeah.
You tend to focus
You're
on
a
the
Big 12
conference.
guy. Stop it.
Nah, I don't know about that.
You tend to focus on the conference your school is in, so you know how things go with the standings. But yeah, I'm curious to know if Schoonmaker played with this fire on the field in Michigan, or is this something that's kind of birthing itself as he gets more reps?
The one thing that I remember from his film in Michigan was the fact that he was used as a lead blocker on rundowns quite often. They would run behind him, whether it was Blake Corum or I forget the other running back's name that was before Corum. But it was those guys would run behind Schoonmaker significantly, and he would lead the way against Big Ten competition. Those front sevens, the defensive lines that are uber good in the Big Ten. You would make some noise there. So when they drafted him in the second round, that was part of why they wanted him, was because of the blocking ability and the fire and the physicality. And they just hadn't seen that. And I haven't seen it.
Tom Haskins, was that who you're thinking of?
Yeah, that's it, Haskins. Because he was a draft pick too, I believe. But he was blocking the way for those guys and having some significant success. I didn't see that, but now you're starting to see him take a step forward as a ball as a pass catcher.
Yeah, as a pass catcher.
And you're also having a step forward in terms of the confidence as a run blocker as well. So.
And speaking of guys who are improving upon their run blocking in the tight end room, shouts out to Brevin Spann-Ford. He's taking advantage of his opportunities
Coach
as well.
McCarthy's been raving about
he's taking
Ford.
advantage of his opportunities as well. So those two young guys, in the absence of Jake Ferguson with the concussion, we'll see if Jake is cleared this week to go against Cincinnati. But, Schoonmaker, Brevin Spann-Ford, you got to like what you're seeing there. And, I can't continue to give enough roses to Lunda Wells for what he continues to do with that room, but I'm going to figure out a way to continue to give him more roses. Just going to change the color of the roses.
He loves the fight. He does. He loves. He knows how to coach up some guys as well. All right. When we come back here on Talking Cowboys, Tommy's got to get out of here. Do you have to get out of here too?
I do not.
Okay, so you're good for a little bit. The Cowboys are having their annual Christmas hospital visits today. Really, really cool. Tell us just a little bit about that before you leave.
Yeah, we're just going to some hospitals here around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You know, it's the Christmas time now, so we're spreading the joy and some players going out and making some people's days. You always love to see it give back to the community, so just really excited.
Now, where can Talkin Cowboys listeners go meet their favorite part-time host, Tommy Yarrish?
In terms of like which
hospital are you going to, man?
That's a great question. We're about to find out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a wonderful cause, man. They're going to
it's always great.
Spread the joy to the sick children and the families of the sick children. And I was blessed enough to be able to go last year. I won't be able to go this year because I have an important thing to take care of after this show. But last year I was able to go, and as a first of all as a human, but as a father on top of that, it brought me to literal tears on more than one occasion. Just seeing those kids light up, but also seeing the condition that they're in, what they're fighting through, and it just puts so much in perspective for you as a person, but also as a parent, to just be thankful. You know, if you have healthy kids, and you know, just be thankful and hug them, and you know. But at the same time, shouts out to the Cowboys, because no matter how the season is going, good, bad, or indifferent, they're out here in the community doing the good.
And it's one of the coolest traditions that the Cowboys do every single year. So Tommy's got to go hop on a bus, go cover that. He'll have some good coverage on DallasCowboys.com to look back on. Nicole Hutchison will be out there as well. So plenty more to come from the Christmas visits. All right, when we come back, it is a Victory Monday, which means we've got some Smelly stickers to award. Our players of the game. Cowboys take down the Giants 27-10. We'll be back with more Talkin' Cowboys right after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag & Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag & Turf, the official Ag & Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
And we're going to overtime.
Erica, how much have I spent on concessions?
For questions about their money, Dallas Cowboys fans can turn to Erica, the virtual financial assistant in the Bank of America mobile banking app. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/Erica by your side. Bank of America, official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Erica responses may vary. Digital tools featured require downloading the mobile banking app and may only be available on select mobile devices. Erica is a mobile feature only available in the English language. Your chat may be recorded and monitored for quality assurance. Message and data rates and additional terms may apply. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
This segment is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome back in to Talkin' Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company. Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Chris Beam in the back, and Kyle Youmans. Let me hand this helmet over.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Got some stickers to hand out.
How they hold their smell. Like
it is pretty wild.
Grab the helmet and you can still smell these from weeks ago.
Yeah, it is pretty good. Did we get Tommy's?
We didn't get Tommy's.
No, we didn't get his.
Oh, I'll text him. I'll get him one. What was that? There's no more. What are you looking for?
You need your Smelly sticker.
Oh, I know. I was going to just grab one whenever you guys were done. Smelly stickers tradition here on Talkin' Cowboys. After a win, Cowboys get the dub over the Giants. So instead of helmet stickers, we give out the Smelly stickers, and we relate them to these scratch and sniff fruit stickers that are probably coming to a close. I just got to go buy some. Do they like sell these just at like any grocery store?
Yeah, it should be.
Or just anywhere.
Target, Walmart,
anywhere?
Michael's most certainly.
Albertsons and Tom Thumb absolutely has
Albertsons and Tom Thumb.
Yeah, they definitely have it.
We have a Michael's sponsorship.
Those.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I said, Michael's.
Yep, just like that. All right. Patrick, we'll let you go first.
I'll start off. I'm going with the lollipop. Lollipop, lollipop, ooh, lolly. Why am I going with the lollipop? The lollipop is going to DeMarvion Overshown, and here's why. On that play that I described earlier, where he blew up Singletary, but then he did not complete the blitz toward Drew Lock. Instead, he stopped short, got his hand up into the passing lane, created a tip drill interception, pick six, first of his career. So lollipop is for him and the words he probably had for Drew Luck after that play. Ha, sucker! Gotcha, sucker! Nice. That play, the deception there was so fantastic because after he blew up Singletary, he could have just gone right after Drew Lock and said, I'm going to get me another sack. Instead, like he said after the game, he said once he got off of that block and he realized that Singletary was releasing, he was like, something's up. Something's up. It immediately clicked in his head. He couldn't be fooled. They tried to make DeMarvion Overshown the sucker, but it turns out that Drew Lock was the sucker. Got him. Hogan, I'm coming for you.
Coming for you. All right. So this one is partially. I mean, we just played 3 games in 10 days, something like that.
Yeah.
This one is kind of for last week and then also for this past week. I have to give this one. This is a lemon. I'm gonna say it's a lemon.
Okay.
And when life gives you Kevontae Turpin, you got to use him. And I like what the offense has been doing. The one play that got you into the red zone, the very first play that got you to the red zone the first time this game was thanks to Kevontae Turpin. Mm-hmm. The fact that they're using him more outside of just the kick return, outside of just the punt return, giving him the ball, giving him space, to me, that is huge. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Use Kevontae Turpin as much as you possibly can.
You gotta get the peach. Let me rub the peach.
Rub my peach,
You gotta rub the peach.
I don't know about that one.
What kind of friends we have.
Yeah. Help me out. I need you guys to help me out here. If I were to do a lime, limes are known for being sour, right? No. What would be a sour? I'm trying to think of something sour at first. That's okay.
You do candy. Don't we have candy ones?
Yeah, there's a little candy. I'll just pretend it's a sour candy. Good call.
Sour Patch situation.
Sure. All right. Here you go. A little Sour Patch situation is exactly what I'm going for here. So, at first it's sour, and then it's sweet, right? At first it's sour, and then it's sweet. I'm going to give this might be the first time we've ever given this gentleman a Smelly sticker, ever. Which is saying something about how sour it has been in the past. But over the last 4 games, he's taken steps in the right direction. He showed it once earlier in the year against the same team that we played this past Thursday. However, the fact that he's now starting to stack good games one on top of the other, I got to give credit to Mozzie Smith.
Yeah, it is.
I got to give credit to Mozzie because Mozzie has not been good. Let's keep it real. Out of all of the defensive tackles in football, especially when you have first-round grade expectations placed on you, Mozzie Smith has not lived up to the expectation. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he has. Even then, I've seen positivity and good play over the last 2 weeks, steps in the right direction over the last 4. So, Mozzie Smith, you were first sour. You've been a little sweet here lately. I'm going to go a little Sour Patch Kid with Mozzie Smith, and you get the helmet sticker from me this week. He had a great game, I thought, against the Giants.
To Kyle's point, when Mozzie Smith was on the field, the Giants were only able to run for 3.2 yards per carry.
Yes.
When he was off the field, that number jumped to 8.7 yards per carry.
5 yards of difference.
And that was just last week.
Yeah. I think it was like that again.
It was.
Did Tommy point it out from the Washington game?
He did.
Similar thing. 2 good weeks from Mozzie Smith.
And then they slid him over to 3 tech. He beats the combo block.
Yeah.
to meet Micah at the quarterback.
Got a half a sack out of it.
Here we go. Mozzie Smith coming alive.
Absolutely.
Very good last several days for Michigan. I tell you that. We're talking about Schoonmaker. Mozzie gets his sticker.
Yeah.
Right?
It was a good weekend for South Carolina as well. As,
it was.
Gamecocks got it done.
Clemson.
Yep, beat Clemson. They're still going to the ACC championship game. But Tommy Yarrish is giving his donut with a little sprinkle of extra sugar on top right there because of Rico Dowdle. That's what Tommy Yarrish is doing. Pretty good week for South Carolina. Former Gamecock in his own right.
Yes, sir.
Rico Dowdle getting it done. First career 100-yard rushing game. First touchdown on the ground this season. We'll get Isaiah's and we'll add it to the mix as well, but that's Tommy's.
Who?
Isaiah Stanback.
Oh.
Yeah,
Juan.
Isaiah Stanback.
He's too big. He's too big for us now.
He is big time. He's very big time.
Mr. Warm-ass neck.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. Cowboys taking on the Bengals coming up this week. They beat the Giants this week 27-20. Tomorrow we're taking your phone calls. It is a Talkin' Tuesday. I want to try and break the Talkin' Calls record tomorrow.
I like that. Let's do it.
First segment, second and third?
Yeah, let's knock it out. Let's
go
go
for it.
straight into it. We're going Talkin' all day tomorrow. Because Cowboys are off. We've got an extra long week. Let's have as many calls as we possibly can when we come back tomorrow. For Tommy Yarrish, Josh Rodriguez, Patrik Walker, Chris Beam in the back, I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long from Talkin Cowboys. We'll see you tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!